Nqobile, it sounds very much that there are more questions than answers at this point. Not surprising, given it's just been a couple of hours really since this explosion has taken place, and it's taken time for officials to get to the scene.
Well, yes, indeed. In fact, I actually want to bring in the Premier to speak to us because we came a bit late. Premier, you must be concerned. Your people are currently in danger.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking situation. It's chaotic, but the situation is completely under control. Only 9 people have been taken to hospital. The last time I counted, the cars that have been damaged here were almost 23. And we've just started to move towards the joint operation center, purely because we are not sure whether we are safe, all of us here now. The smell of the gas, we can smell it, is too strong, but also the damage to the road and the damage possibly to the buildings can really have a serious impact on all of us here. But it's a situation that I'm grateful to the executive mayor, the team from Johannesburg that is already here from the gas, Ecoli gas. They are analyzing the gas, but our experts have went in there. They are trying to check the numbers of people that are affected and those that might need help. But the situation is now under control. The only thing we will urge people that they must avoid the CBD until further notice. Even tomorrow morning, we don't think that people should access the CBD.
What happens to the people that live here?
Yeah, that's why the team is accessing them, is interviewing them. We are worried about the nature of the impact to the buildings that are around here. So we've asked the city manager here to identify people that can be evacuated. That is why we are seeing these teams going in, identifying people, so that those that have been affected can be taken to hospital and they can be given the necessary support that they need.
All right, we'll let you go, Premier. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So those are some of the people that are being identified. I can tell you now that the smell here is so strong that you almost seem as if you're choking just smelling it. Those are some of the people that are being identified, as the Premier has said. I want to show you the mess that this has left behind. You can see there some of the taxis still on the sides of the road, and we are hearing now that the teams are going in, that they're still trying to see just the impact this has had on the road, but also on the people that live here. The Premier telling us that we must be cautious, that people mustn't be entering the CBD just until they understand how far this thing is. As you can see, though, the damage is quite clear. The road is just broken into pieces. But he's saying what's interesting is that probably the buildings that are here also have been somehow affected. So they still need to look into that. So what happens to the people in here remains to be seen. But we do know also that Santalco is also one of the people that are still trying to figure out how much impact this will have on their businesses, and we're seeing more and more people on the ground. The person that was here on the scene explaining to us that it felt like something was shaking, and then the ground started opening up. So something that has not really been experienced before by someone who's a student, but this of course is a very, very busy area of town. As you can see, there's a lot of taxis that pass here, so a lot of people have been in this area. We're hearing 9 people in hospital at this point. Well, Thabo, we will continue to look at the impact this has had, but I just want to walk so I can show you, and you can see quite closely just the impact this has had. So clearly a massive power for it to move the ground to such an extent, and I want you to see, look, this is just a hole coming off the tar road, and we're hearing that this pipe is underneath here, and of course the impact is still being noticed. So you can see the ground in itself has been lifted up, and I want to show you the cars here also that has been of course broken apart. You can see this car has been basically tilted up, upside down. You can imagine this impact would have on anyone who was inside the car. And I want to move this side so that you can see some more. But look at that. Look at the damage that has been left behind by this impact. And already inside this car, you can see some of the splatter of blood. Clearly, the person that was driving was here. And you can just already imagine how much impact this will have, as well as on businesses, people's lives. And it continues. As you can see, a lot of people still trying to figure out what is happening. But if you look just further down, the impact on it already, there's a big hole inside that tar road. So a lot of the taxis here are affected. We are going to be reaching out to Santaco. They already told us that they are checking how many of their cars have been affected. Already the police are also trying to get people out of the scene. As you can see further down, there's some of the firefighters that are also still on the scene. As we were coming this side, we were told that this area is not a good area to be in. They're worried about radiation that could potentially come from what has been happening here. And we already heard from the Premier of Gauteng that the situation may be under control, but they are worried about the impact this will have, obviously on families that have to live here, people still in their homes. As you can see, some of them still curious in terms of what is happening. Very busy streets in town, Thabo, and people continue to just wonder, and we are obviously going to be on the ground and monitor what is the way forward.
Right, Nqobile, tell us about the search that is currently underway. I believe there are some who are currently in search of possibly more bodies that could be caught up in this explosion.
Well, there is a search currently. The Premier has told us that they have some experts that have gone in already to sort of check or to monitor the situation so that they know the impact and that they know how many people are currently affected and how the buildings will be affected as well. So that search is aiming at looking at the impact this will have so that they can know just how badly this area is affected. And I want to show you some of that impact that is currently showing visibly. We're now seeing water that's just running down this building. This is, of course, one of the buildings where it has quite a number of people that live here. We are told that they haven't yet evacuated people, but look, this is the water that is now coming from that building. So a burst pipe coming out of there. So a number of people also still looking. Let me see, because there's some parties that are already here.
This is the burst pipe due to the shaking. We can't verify, but that's what we are suspecting for now, which means there could be some damages that are caused to the buildings because of the gas explosion. But as we said, we are still going to verify and get conclusive statements or evidence from the technical teams who will then tell us the extent of the damage or the extent of what might come out of this damage.
So you're live on Newzroom Afrika, and I just want to find out, you're saying there are teams that are inside that are investigating. Tell us a bit about those teams. What sort of expertise are you bringing in?
No. I never said there are teams. I'm saying we will await the technical teams to do a thorough investigation, and then they will be able to then brief us properly. The mayor has just indicated that we need to go for a briefing so that we can at least get some credible information as to what has happened. And then I think after that the mayor will then address the media.
But how concerned are you seeing what you're seeing now?
We are very concerned, obviously. That is why we have left our Wednesday and all came here. I was in Rustenburg at the by-election when I heard about this, and I immediately drove here. So the MMC of Infrastructure is here, the MMC of Community Development is here, the MMC of Public Safety is here, the mayor is here. So we are all concerned with what has happened. But obviously, a thorough investigation is needed to make sure that we get the cause of what has happened. But I must say, in my personal capacity also, that it can't be a coincidence that we've had the same gas explosion in Nqobile, and now it's happening here. And both of them, obviously, we are experiencing the same thing of illegal mining. But I'm not saying that is the cause. The investigation will tell us what the cause of the gas explosion is.
Why would you say it's illegal mining?
I did not say it's illegal mining. I am saying it can't be a coincidence that where there's illegal mining in Ekurhuleni and here in Johannesburg, the same thing has happened. But the investigation will reveal the real cause of what has happened. I'm just concerned about the road of the city of Johannesburg that has been damaged on a very busy road that is used by taxis. It's a very serious concern.
NMC for infrastructure, just share with us what you estimate this damage to be valued at, but more importantly, what teams you've brought in to help you make those very important assessments around the safety of the buildings.
No, currently it's not easy to estimate the damage cost. We are still relying on the rescuers. We are still busy down there trying to rescue other people from, make those particular assessments. But I think hence we are...
People trapped. You're rescuing people?
They've been rescued. None of them already been rescued. But the search is still on to try and check if there's no one under those taxis. But hence we have been advised by technicians that we must leave this area to Mary Fitzgerald, where we are going to be briefing media on an hourly basis. But assessments have been done currently in terms of the damage. Hence everybody, we have called him here, the city manager, the mayors, will try and check what that need to be done. If the buildings, as you can see behind us, there's water leaking, might be as a result of the vibration that would have, as a result of the explosion itself, then we have this vibration that created this particular leaks. But indeed, then we must make an assessment of the stability of the ground and the buildings around here. If we need to evacuate people, the housing obviously is here, the mayor's here, city manager's here, so that from our side...
It's too calm. I mean, it just feels like it's too calm.
No.
Are you evacuating people?
We are evacuating. We're in the process. The premiers already left to Mary Fitzgerald. We are here just to see what is happening here with water. And here, in fact, we are just here to respond to your but we were leaving all of us to Mary Fitzgerald. But we are concerned, look, we're all of us in the process of getting to our own homes as MMCs, getting involved in our own maybe family issues. But later, it took us 20 minutes for us to be and respond. The Premier was already here, in fact, he arrived here even before me. We are very appreciative of that.
Please give us an opportunity to go to the Miss Mary Fitzgerald to have a briefing, and then once we've had that briefing, then the Premier or the Mayor will be able to address you or some of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is some of the officials just speaking to us, and of course, all right, let's just listen.
That's a lie, MMC. This is my word. I know what I'm talking about.
A bit of confrontation there. I just want to hear. Well, why?
But you are lying. You were taken to hospital.
We're talking about residents who stay here. I think they want to understand.
All right, I just want to know. Are you saying people have not been evacuated?
No. People are still trying to get out of their buildings. They're not allowed to move on the road.
That building in particular,
People are residents there on top, and there's a strong gas leakage if you go up the road.
There's still other people that are right here.
And no one has given them an alternative. Where are they going to sleep tonight? What are they going to wear tomorrow if they have to go to work? Their kids, school is open again. Some kids have to go to school. There's not been an alternative that is put in place by any of the leadership that is here, whether from province or from the city. There is no clear direction of how the actual residents who are going to be affected by this thing, not only today, but for the next coming so-called months, because we know the current government will probably take years to fix this thing.
As well as, and our main issue, our residents here, this is our ward, our residents here. Once the cameras leave, all the politicians will leave, and will remain with this mess. So the only opportunity we have to make them account as to what is going to happen to the people here, what are they going to do about, how has the structural integrity of the buildings been affected? We must get all of that information now while the politicians are here, before the cameras leave. Because once you comrades leave here, then Tina will be left alone here in Squala.
It sounds like to me you're saying that this is a show. Are you speaking to people that are inside these buildings? Yes. What are they telling you?
We stay here. We stay here.
Look at this building right here.
Stay here. They have not shown us who's an expert who works on gas, who works on explosions, who works on leakages like this. It's just politicians speaking to you, and you must take them to account. But where are the experts who are supposed to tell us what is the real issue and how far is the danger going to go?
Absolutely.
Overnight, people want to sleep. How are they going to sleep? Because the leakage of gas can affect you in your sleep.
You can't even walk up there because there's gas. There are children that are staying here.
Yes.
What must happen to them? Those are the questions that we want. Actually, people's lives comes before the infrastructure. The lives of people people can be replaced, but this road can be replaced, not people's lives.
What are you suggesting should happen?
I am suggesting that the main priority right now is to find out the extent of the gas, and if people must be removed and given alternative accommodation while this thing is being fixed, then it must be fixed. That must be the main priority. They must not tell us about the road. The road is secondary.
Sure.
Human lives comes first. Black people's lives are primary before anything else. So until we hear what's going to happen to the people, that's when we're going to get encouraged. But don't tell us about the road. The road is secondary to human life. The people's lives are the most important thing that we are concerned about. You can't walk there, my sister. You can't walk there without a mask.
Exploding since last year, December. They've been going to talk to media. It exploded again in Boksburg. They want to speak to media. It's exploding here again. They are coming here.
But they've not speaking about how there are still people in these buildings right now. If you take your camera into these buildings, there are people inside these buildings. What is the plan for removing these people? All right, as you can hear there, some of the people that live in this ward say that they want plans and they want feasible plans, basically, which will explain exactly what will happen to the people that are here on the ground. Very important points there being raised, that the infrastructure can be replaced, but people's lives, on the other hand, cannot be replaced. This is the damage that's currently on this busy road in the CBD. We are hearing that they are going to be speaking to media, but they're going to be speaking to media. It's Mary Fitzgerald. The idea is to make sure that everyone moves out of here so that the experts that they say have already gone in can at this point figure out just what is happening. Again, that damage, you can see people's cars still on the street. You can see those cars that have been affected. People are affected. We are hearing that the people are still within these buildings. We were told that they're still monitoring what is happening, but you can hear there from those young people that were speaking to us that they're saying they want plans, they want to hear more, they want to see what will be happening going forward. Let me just show you more of that impact. This is in the middle of the road, and already it has caved in. You can just see there's also water that's coming out of that area, so you can see that just the impact this will have long after this, that even though the infrastructure again can be replaced, they're saying they want to hear what will happen to the people that live here, and most of them are still in the buildings watching from their homes. But the Premier did tell us that some of the people are being tested, they're being also checked, as we saw some of the people that were being taken out. So I'm going to show you, those are some of the families that are within the buildings at this very point that are also watching as everything is just taking place here in the middle of the CBD.
Nqobile, the point that you are at, where you're standing now, is that where the residents are saying there is a gas leak, at least a strong smell of gas? I'm asking that because I see the Metro Police are allowing people, passerby, to kind of stray around that particular area. Have they done an assessment of danger and whether or not it is indeed safe and solid for those people to be in that area?
So where we are, it's where you can see the impact, but they're saying that where the actual gas leak is further up from this road. But of course, this is equally as affected, perhaps more though as you go further up the road. And these are the people that you see are mainly the people that live in this area. But the Metro Cops also, I must say, have been having quite a hard time trying to control the crowd here. There's a lot of people that keep coming. Everybody is curious. They want to see what this is and what happened here. So that in itself also requires quite a lot. We've seen some of them trying to fend people off, but people continue to want to see. Some of them are even recording. I'm going to try and speak to some people that are here, and let's just hear. Baba uhlala? What happened here? What did you feel? What did you see?
This thing started around 5:30, 5 o'clock. He came like wow, immediately, and bars, you hear now, even now, you hear. So, wait.
I think we're just gonna move up a little bit, because the strong smell is also just coming from that side. And whilst he tries to recollect himself, because he's saying he's worried about the smell, Baba khuluma nathi sichazele kwenzakalani, siyazi ukuthi kunalokho okunukayo njengamanje, asichazele uzizwa kanjani njengoba ula ubone lokho okubonile.
No, angizizwi kahle because of itaxi leya the way iwe ngakhona abantu balimele baningi, so then it was worse. Even the people was not right in the road here. I'm not good about this, what happened. And then it's still moving, going there. You understand? So, but right now, I hope people will be well, will be good. So let's wait and see what's going to happen.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Those are some of the people that saw what happened, but just highlighting there that it's an emotional thing. They're seeing a lot of people that got affected. He's saying he saw a taxi specifically that was affected in front of him, and so he is worried about what this will have in terms of impact in their lives. But of course, as you can see behind here, and just to answer your question again, that strong smell coming out here, but they're saying the strong smell that we can smell from the distance where we are is not as strong as the one that's further up the road, hence why they said they've sent their teams inside to ensure that their teams can look and perhaps check just how badly this area has been affected.
So, Nqobile, just one more time, just for clarity, what is the Premier saying? Are they clear on the nature of the gas that has exploded, the owners of the pipeline of that particular gas infrastructure, and what it was being used for? Because I suppose politicians would do what politicians would do, but the MMC for Human Settlements insinuating that this could somehow be linked to activities of illegal mining.
Yes, we have heard, of course, that part about the fact that this could potentially be because of illegal mining. But the Premier did say that they're not going to, at this point, come up with reasons because they don't know yet. So they are going to let those people that investigate to go inside and to sort of check what is happening and what really caused this impact. But we are hearing that this could be, of course, attached to illegal mining, or at least that was in a way highlighted by PA, saying that this could potentially be linked because it's not a mistake, they say, that it happened in Boksburg. And again, this is now happening. You will remember in Boksburg that those were tanks that had caused so much impact and people died from that. Now we're hearing that there's some people that have been rushed to hospital because of the same impact. So I suppose there are questions that other parties want to ask that wants to be answered in terms of what really occurred here. We're going to come a bit closer so you can see, and I want to show you and I want to draw your attention. Just look how the crack just sort of runs across the road. So clearly the impact was quite wide and strong, and as I'm standing here, I can already tell you that I can hear gushing water that is just running in between here. So you can already understand that the infrastructure that's been affected is not just gas, but it's also water and also the road. But of course, people's lives are also affected, as we heard that people have been rushed to hospitals.